Today, we're diving into a topic that's a bit of a paradox to me: free-to-play games. I hate them so much, but man, they're awesome. Alright, well, let's at least start with the positive. Free-to-play games are amazing because they break down the financial barriers. You can jump into Fortnite, Apex Legends, Genshin Impact, and many others without paying a single cent. It's a low-risk way to explore new games, and that's fantastic. Especially for me, I'm too broke to buy real games. You can get high-quality experiences with great graphics and solid gameplay without forking over cash up front. But let's also be honest with ourselves here. The free-to-play model isn't as straightforward as it seems. The first major issue is the aggressive monetization tactics. I'm going to go over some specific examples and rank them on a tier list based on how well they do their monetization. Take Genshin Impact for instance. While it's praised for its beautiful world and engaging combat, it also has a gacha system where you spend real money for an advantage. This sort of monetization enhances a toxic relationship with players and the game, often making players spend money or forcing them to grind for days on end. This can be particularly exploitative for players who might feel compelled to spend more due to the fear of missing out or spending precious hours of their life grinding. From what money I've seen others spend on this game, I'm going to rank this one a D on the tier list. Take that with a grain of salt though, I've never actually played the game, just heard stuff from friends and online. Then there's the big one, Fortnite, which revolutionized the Battle Royale genre, but also introduced the concept of the Battle Pass and item shops. While the base game is free, the Battle Pass is a subscription-like model where you pay for a season of content and unlock cosmetics through progression. You know, it sounds reasonable, right? But the catch is that the Battle Pass is designed to make you feel like you need to keep playing and paying to keep up with new content and rewards. It also creates a lingering feeling of FOMO, because if you don't get the Battle Pass before it ends, then tough luck dude, because you can never get those rewards again. And in the item shop, it's a predatory minefield for children's minds, who have their mommy's credit cards. There are shiny, flashing colors with enticing cartoony characters that make little kids sink hundreds if not thousands into these rewards. Despite this, it's a constant want for many players with psychological hooks that keep you coming back, sometimes more than you might want to admit. I'm going to rank this one a B because the Battle Pass offers good value for its price, but it clearly can't be any higher due to the predatory tactics they use towards children. Now, we can't forget League of Legends, a game that's been free since its launch but heavily monetizes through microtransactions for champions, skins, and other in-game content. The core game is a blast, sure, but over the years, Riot Games has introduced new champions that can be unlocked through either grinding or paying. This creates a scenario where players might feel pressure to spend money to keep up with seasoned players who already own a diverse roster of champions. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about gameplay balance and competitive edge. I'm going to give this one an A because you can still compete against other players without spending any money. Now, let's add mobile games to this confusing puzzle of free-to-play. Mobile games have become a major player in the free-to-play ecosystem, often using the same monetization tactics but on a more accessible platform. Take Clash Royale for example. This game combines strategy with card collection and battles, and while it's free to play, it relies heavily on microtransactions to progress and unlock new cards. The game's progression can be slowed down significantly if you don't spend money, which can be frustrating for players who don't want to shell out cash. On the flip side, games like Among Us show us a different approach. It's free on mobile but offers simple cosmetic upgrades for a price, allowing players to support the game without feeling pressured to spend money for an advantage, or feeling coerced into purchasing rewards due to predatory marketing. You can also obtain cosmetics pretty easily through just playing the game. This model can strike a better balance between monetization and enjoyment, making the experience less about spending to win and more about personalizing your style. Clash Royale, I'll give an F, while Among Us gets an S. The monetization strategies can also create a pay-to-win environment. Call of Duty Warzone, for example, as if there isn't enough problems with that game. Allows players to purchase weapon blueprints that offer in-game advantages. This can be frustrating for players who don't want to spend extra cash but face opponents with superior gear. The imbalance in gameplay can erode the sense of fair competition and make it feel like the game is more about how much you're willing to spend rather than how much skill you have. While technically one can get everything they want with enough grind, they're going to immediately be put at a disadvantage to the players who skipped the grind by shelling out cash. I'm going to give Warzone a fat D because the advantages of spending money are way too obvious. One often overlooked aspect of free-to-play games is the reliance on constant events and promotions to keep the players engaged. While these events can add a lot of fun and variety to the game, they can also create an environment where players feel compelled to log in frequently to avoid FOMO. Games like Fall Guys and Pokemon Go are notorious for their limited time events, which can be both exciting and exhausting. This model of frequent, time-limited content can lead to burnout, as players may feel pressured to play not because they genuinely enjoy the game, but because they don't want to miss out on special rewards or bonuses. This constant churn of new content and events, while designed to keep the game fresh, can often make players feel like they're in a never-ending race to keep up, which can detract from the overall enjoyment and turn the game into more of a chore than a pastime. I mean, I can speak from experience. I myself enjoy playing Pokemon Go, but with the constant shifting of what Pokemon can spawn when and such, I find myself distancing from the game because it feels like a daily chore I have to do, unless I spend money on it. Fall Guys gets a C for being middle of the road, and Pokemon Go gets a D for the insane grind one must do if you don't want to spend any money. Also from personal experience, Destiny 2 has such an awful DLC system. If added together, the price for all the DLC equals to over $500. While editing, I realize that there are many factors that can change with this, so average, it's around $300, not $500. Still insane though. Like, sure, you're getting new content, but what is the point of it being free to play if the price for the full experience of the game is more than the console that I play it on? Destiny 2 gets a D because most people just play PvP anyways. Now, let's talk about a game I love. CSGO 2 is a double-edged sword, in terms that it's a mix of both great and awful monetization tactics for a free-to-play game. The best part about it is being able to play the entire game without ever thinking about pulling out your wallet. The game is grounded in realism, so there aren't many over-the-top cosmetics to reel any players into purchasing them. Where it goes wrong, though, is the gambling aspect. If a player does end up wanting to spend money, they have to spend money only to have a chance at getting something that they want. This causes addictions in many players, just as real gambling does, and is just in general an awful monetization system. You know it's bad when players are stopping mid-match in your game to open a gambling crate. CSGO 2 gets an F for promoting any sort of gambling. One good thing about free-to-play games is the community aspect of it. They bring people together and the social experience can be incredible, but when the monetization tactics start to take center stage, it can dampen that experience. It's like having a great party where halfway through you realize you're being charged for every drink and snack. The fun is still there, but the price tag changes everything. One of the biggest hatreds in my soul towards gaming is paid games with these types of monetization systems. There is no universe where I am paying full price for a game and then you expect me to pay more for some customization or advantages. The best example of this, in my opinion, is the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game when that came out. The game costs $40 at launch, and yet they added ludicrous paid microtransactions, which gave players an insane advantage over everyone else. EA as a company is a joke when it comes to things like this, so EA in general gets an F. Now, here's where the love-hate relationship gets really messy. I'm all for a game being free, but when the core enjoyment of the game is linked to spending money, it changes the experience completely. The constant pressure to buy cosmetics, battle passes, or in-game advantages can overshadow the initial joy of playing. It feels less like enjoying a game and more like navigating a well-crafted sales funnel. So where does that leave us? Free-to-play games are a double-edged sword. They offer accessible and high-quality experiences, but they come with a set of challenges that can make them feel less enjoyable over time. The key is to be aware of the traps and to enjoy these games on your terms and not the company's. You can't let the monetization push and overshadow the fun. But man, even after all the hate I've said towards these games so far, I'm still gonna keep playing them because man, they're awesome.